And welcome to another episode of the Crappy Awesome Podcast. It's your host, Kill C. Ray. Man, we here. This is the new chapter of Crappy Awesome, man. It only took us 7 years to get on video, so we're right we're right on schedule. Um, it's gonna be dope, man. I got a dope guest today. He goes by the name of Endz. He's a good friend of mine. Um, and I had to have him on, man. He always comes on. He always drops gems. We've had a
Sure.
relationship for let's see, how long now, man. We known each other for. I was doing the math the other, like when I hit you up to book you, and I think we're almost like 5 or 6 years now. Like it's
That's
it's
fucking crazy.
yeah,
That's
it's
dope, man. It's an honor to always chop it up with you.
yo, man. Welcome to the show, dude. Man, we got a lot to catch up on, man. We're obviously, this whole thing is like we're in a very crazy time, right? We haven't talked since the pandemic started. We haven't talked since then. We were actually, you were supposed to be on tour. Um, like touring was getting planned. There was a bunch of stuff happening at the time, and then the pandemic hits. Where were you at, like artistically, musically? Like, what were you doing?
Bro, when the pandemic hit, you won't believe it, but I was in Seattle when they had just quarantined one of the buildings down the street. I was with Vel, Fourth, Kevin, and a bunch of Vel's friends, and we were literally just smoking a blunt in one of the alleys in Seattle, like tripping out. We just wanted to get back home. We had done 3 shows off of the tour. The Price Just Went Up tour with Vel, Yoshi, uh, and myself. Yeah, man, it's that's what I was doing. I was on tour, and I had to come back home, and I was like hoping that I could come back home before they started canceling flights and shit.
Did you were you at a place where, like, did you guys, cuz I know it hit us all like in a wave, right? Like we didn't, it seemed like, okay, it seemed like something's happening. Oh shit, this shit's getting serious. Oh shit, they're closing shit. Oh shit, they're like, were you at that time, were you like, "Oh man, this is something really big happening," or were you still kind of like, "Oh, maybe we just got to go home for right now and then we'll get right back to it."
Not. I felt it. I felt
Yeah.
something like just something told me there was like just something bad out there. Even like it might not have been in the whole exact information that the news gives us, but for sure that there was something out there, and I had to be cautious about my moves and my hygiene and everything. We were trying not to be like super ignorant about it either, you know?
Yeah, and you guys were like, how far into the tour were you? Were you guys, how many shows had you
We
done?
were supposed to do like I believe like 5 6 shows. We ended up just doing 3. So or
So
I
halfway
could
in.
I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong, but like what I remember, like maybe like 5 6 shows. And we only did 3. We went to New Mexico, Texas, and actually we did 2 shows because we actually went to Seattle, but we didn't even get to perform. That was the day that they canceled, started like the shows and stuff like that, and yeah, Vel was kind of like of course like sad about it, and we were all just like, yo, it's cool, like like we're gonna make the best of it, and we just kind of held it down as a team, you know.
That's cool, man. I mean, was it were you guys, was it easy to get back home and everything? No, they were still allowing
um
travel and all that, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, it was yeah, it was fairly easy. I mean, it was just one of those trippy things, like obviously like there wasn't that many people at the airport, and there also was just nobody sitting with you on the plane. Like the planes were empty, so it was just like little vibes were thrown off, but everything else was solid.
And as far as the when you guys got back, were you like um were you already like mentally ready, like, oh, this could be a while, or where were you at the
Yeah,
beginning?
we knew we were gonna come back to a shit show,
Yeah.
like coming to Cali. Like we knew like that we weren't gonna be moving the same. Just like, so I remember staying in the house for at least like a good 7 10 days,
Yeah.
even more, just because I had gone to 3 states, and I was paranoid to like go visit my family, and I just kind of stayed in, and then I ended up watching this show on Netflix about a virus that completely fucked me up. So then I and then and then I was like, but then yeah, like I basically took the steps needed just to be safe. And I mean, dude, I mean, I feel like one way or another, like it could have been like like anybody could have had it, and they could have just thought it was the flu, and then if you have a strong immune system, it goes away, and if you don't, you end up like getting serious complications, you know. So luckily, I've always been on my like stay active, fucking juice, just like just things to help my body and get myself right, you know.
Yeah, man. And you, yeah, you've always been on like at least a good health tip. Hey, do me a favor, dude. Can you move back a little bit? That's perfect.
Got you,
Because
got you.
because your mic is beautiful. It's coming through nice and clear.
Okay.
So, I've talked to I just talked to Curtis King recently on an episode, and we were talking about how people's stress levels really went through the roof, right? Like we know, like you can feel it, you can see it around you, and then we're in this pandemic, and then um, a wave of social change and social disruption starts happening. You know, yeah, because of the George Floyd event, not necessarily just because of that, but we all know like things sparked off because of that, and then we're in a place where it doesn't seem like one of the things I've been really asking a lot of the artists is it because it doesn't seem like there's a clear view yet of what the future is going to look like. Um, in your opinion, or what you felt, or maybe what you've heard, like what do you think? What do you think the new normal is going to look like, especially for artists, right? Like we count on going on the road, we count on touching our fans face to face and all that. Do you feel like any of that stuff's going to be really changed from here on out?
There's definitely going to be a little shift, but knowing the independent game, I do feel like people will start getting creative like they are now with online Twitch shows and just adapting to the situation, because from day one, that's what independent artists do. They adapt to their situations, and only the ones that are really about their shit are gonna make it out, you know. And it's gonna be hard. I, I don't mean to make it sound easy, but for sure, where there's a will, there's gonna be some sort of a way, you know.
Yeah, it's trippy, man. One of the things I was talking to Curtis about was like, like all the people we kind of know that are at least having some success, or have been doing this long enough that this is what they do all the time. They didn't seem to get too hurt with the pandemic. Like
Yeah,
it almost seemed like they were kind of ready for it already. Like they were already hustling on their own. Most of us, right? Like most of us are already kind of homebodies, or people like that want to just create at home. So that wasn't really a big thing, right? Because like
yeah, you're right.
dude, all my social friends, my friends that like to go to the clubs, and like all those friends, they were hurting, bro. They're still hurting because they get all their energy from that. But I noticed that like artists, we tend to like hopefully cultivate our own energy, and it seems like
Facts.
we've had it a little easier. Do you feel like the same?
Bro, facts. Like you're speaking, like you're hitting it on the nail. Like sometimes I feel like, yo, like quarantine, cool, stay in the house and work inside the house. And that sounds pretty normal to me, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like at first we knew like we wanted to kind of stop releasing stuff, but then I was watching people that inspire me just continue working, but at the same time contributing to the cause, and just like just being careful not to like, obviously like we care about people, our listeners, like we care about them, and we know that we want to do something that wouldn't necessarily hurt their pockets too much, and know that whatever it is that we do, that we're contributing it to something bigger.
Mm.
So like we had one of the dopest months last month and the month before that, just not even like doing shows, like we were just creating a bunch of merchandise, and it ended up just great responses, and you know, like we had one where we wanted to make sure to donate for farm workers with everything going on, And then we also right now, like we're trying to still contribute, even if it's just like a little piece from us, because when it's a whole community, it comes down to something big when everybody's putting in their 2 cents, and we just want to be we want to make sure that everything we do is like gonna be uh for the bigger picture. And right now, this is what's that needs to happen in the world. We need like more love, more peace, and we want to make sure that we're not just like selfishly releasing all this like music that doesn't read the room, releasing stuff that's like not relevant to what's needed right now, so just being very careful with it.
Yeah, man. I think it's been one of those situations where I know for me, like I definitely had to ask like some of my mentors and stuff, like because I got to a point where, especially when the stuff with George Floyd happened, like that got even more serious. Oh, do you got your speaker on? Is that I'm hearing like a speaker?
My bad. Yeah, like I don't know why I'm having like an issue with the. Let me. I might have to move.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Okay. Um. So you said that with everything going on with George Floyd, that everything's gonna change and stuff.
What? No, I just think that I felt like one of the things that was really happening was people were in a place where, as artists, some of us were confused about like, should we, like, what could I drop right now? You know what I mean? That doesn't feel inappropriate. And one of the things that I really hit home for me with some of my mentors, Kurt being one of them, like, was like, yo, this is what we do, right? And what you do does play a role in people's lives, right? And it makes it has a lot to do with um people's daily routine, right? Like if you're not it, imagine like this is somebody told me this. Imagine if you were locked down and you really didn't have a whole lot of options. Say you were out of work, you didn't really have a lot of things to do, and your favorite artist never put out any music during the time you were locked down. That would fucking
Yeah.
suck, right? Like that would suck. You wouldn't be able to get your mind away from things because it helps to dive into music. And when he,
Yeah.
when my homie told me that, I was just like, yeah, you know what? That's ridiculous. Like as artists, we
Yeah.
we kind of have a duty to keep releasing. Like we have to
Yeah.
release even in
I
hard
think
times.
I think it's an interesting topic that you bring up because I've been doing a lot of songwriting, so I've been dealing with a little bit of different type of artists, from a reggaeton artist to a hip hop, R&B, whatever, like and in their world, in the Latino reggaeton world right now, they do not want to drop music because they feel that it's just gonna get oh, it's going to go over people's heads, because they obviously know that they're obviously reading the room, and they know that they make music for the clubs. They make music to entertain people and make them dance and make them party. And if nobody's doing that right now
Mm.
in their world, they're not they're not dropping music. But for artists like us, like for me, when I heard them say that, like all respects, like I like to be a student, and I like to study different communities and kind of see like how people move and succeed and stuff. So I definitely feel like for us, it's more like relatable. It's like more relatable for us to drop music, especially because I mean I've heard some of your music, and like I drop music too that like can be heartfelt. So I definitely
Yeah.
know right now people want to feel, people want to heal, people are trying to figure out what their next move is gonna be. So definitely, I was right there with you. Like, what should I release? And I had to re-strategize because I have a lot of music, but I wanted to drop the right ones to like really hit home.
Yeah, man. I think it's important right now, man, to at least be thoughtful. Like what my homie said, and what I'll definitely share with you, because I definitely feel like you're an artist like this as well. Is like you're always thoughtful. You know what I mean? Whether you're making a song that's happy and fun, or whether it's about your family, whether it's about struggles, you're always a thoughtful person. So there isn't a reason for you to stop making music. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
we
think
need those thoughts.
yeah, I think it's just almost like common sense. Like you're gonna see a person walk by, you guys are gonna look at each other and not say hi. It's like you know that there's something going on right now, and if you're obviously there's some people that aren't really truly like rooted like that, where they're just like, no, I'm just gonna drop my fucking club banger right now, and that's cool. Like, but obviously you like the energy is there, and like you're gonna get what you give, and like if if you're not reading the room, then that's your life, you know.
Yeah, dude. Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to like we can pause and try to see if we can get
Video.
your video going because I don't want you to miss out
Man,
on that.
I know. I'm like trying to like. Yeah. Do you want me to exit this thing and come back or
Yeah, possibly you can. We're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like it's not
go
gonna
anywhere? Okay.
disrupt anything.
Let me fix this.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's ends. Yeah, we're just trying to get his video right. If you're listening to this on audio, you're cool. Chill with us. It's all good. Um, yeah, I'm gonna talk to him a lot about. I mean, this is a dude who works a lot. You know what I mean? He's constantly out there um, trying new things. He's very experimental. So I definitely want to pick his brain a little bit on his thoughts on what what he's got in mind. You know, as far as like innovating in a time where it seems like we do need a lot of innovation. Man, that's for sure. Like we need some new ideas. We need to figure out whether or not some of the stuff that we used to do is feasible still, right? Whether or not some of the stuff we used to do is, and not to use this as like a negative example, but say like I was saying this the other day about like police in general. It's very much like the coal mining industry. Like there was a time that we really needed it in the form that it was, and now it doesn't make sense to continuously invest in something like that, because it doesn't work. Um, I think we got ends back. Let's see here. I'm watching him on the screen, but let's see here. Unmute. He looks like he's back. Yeah, there he is.
Sick. Hopefully, I'm back for good.
It's all good, man. So one of the things I was telling the audience right now was one of the things you like to do. I know this because we've had conversations about stuff like this, but you're really into like innovating, right? Like you've always been into like trying to think of the next thing or a new way of presenting yourself, or even when we were talking about touring stuff, like the ideas you have for touring, or it's next level stuff. Like, did this slow any of that down, or did it like help it?
It felt like it did, but usually it ends up being like what needed to happen to really harness the idea, the way it's executed, like
Mm,
everything. So I just been learning how to trust timing and not really go out of my way to like super try to prove my point. Where it's just like I rather do it, and if I know that the pandemic and all these things right now are like slowing that down, I'm still gathering energy and I'm still doing my thing, just not like at the same I guess without the same thoughts of like this is just about my career or my life. It's about everybody right now, and really
mm.
just contributing even like through a conversation or through anything. So yeah, like touring. It's crazy that you mentioned all of this because like we were supposed to do something too,
Yeah.
and I know like timing is just everything, and we can't just go out there and say, hey, let's go do something and hope like everything's got to be planned and well executed.
Yeah, I think one of the things, dude, I honestly can appreciate about you and appreciate about your team is that you guys, and this is like I said, we've known each other for a while, but plus we've also seen like tons of experiences and changes within the industry at the same time. I can always say that you guys have like from the beginning, before we all even knew how. Like we were one of the things we related with you guys was that you guys have always tried to be as professional as possible, right? Like the word professionalism was from the jump, was something that we had in our very first conversation, and that shit has never
Yeah,
changed. And just like any skill, we all get better at it if you work at it. And now you seem like very much like a roll with the punches type of person, where like if you got to pivot, you'll pivot. If you got to shift your energy, you're gonna do it. Like, can you talk a little bit about like how you got to that? Because we haven't always been these people, right? Like it took
yep.
development, it took work. So like, how did you become this person?
Dude, it's just plain and simple. I feel like it's experiences. Like you hear the greats say it all the time, like Gary Vee and everybody. Like you gotta fail, you gotta learn from these L's, and you gotta learn from these experiences to really build you up. And the reason why you learn is because you're able to humble down and know that you don't know everything, and you're able to calm down and say I'm not right all the time. Like I'm not always right, and just being logical and mindful of like your surroundings and people. And that's one of the reasons why i feel I feel that I haven't reached this level that a lot of people see me like, hey, like you should be there and there. And it's
Mm,
just like I know that, but I also know that the timing like is everything, and that's going to be a whole other topic, because I am thinking of like rebranding and really just restructuring things at a more global like scale. So
yeah.
um
Well, talk about that a little bit because I know that for people who might not be familiar, um, you have always kind of dipped into let's see, like Spanish, right? You've always had Spanish in your music. You've
mhm.
always you've never denied your Latino roots.
Yeah,
But you've also been like the truest student of hip hop. You've been a true student of like the industry. Like what is Endz gonna look like on the you know what I mean, when we come out of this and things start coming back? Is it gonna look the same, or you know what I mean? Like, what's it gonna look like?
I I all I know, I can't visually put it in words, but I know it's gonna be more confidence, more assurance, and it's just gonna be more strength and just everything built up over the years of like doubting like myself, and kind of like everybody goes through these phases of growth and uncomfortability. So I feel it's just gonna be just a new version, but still the same person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just beautiful, because I like to focus a lot on music, but music has made me tap into like myself and just other areas of like departments and like of like knowledge, and just dig deeper into things so you're able to understand them and execute whatever it is that you're trying to do, because a lot of it is just lack of knowledge and lack of just you reading the signs. It's just like a lot of lack of like even self love when you don't really have discipline either,
Mm.
I think when you don't have discipline, you don't really believe you can do something, so you're kind of just like, I'll slack off a little bit. I mean, it's true. All those things are experiences, and we all tend to fail more than we succeed. But for some reason, that one success covers up all those failures for people, and they
Mm.
end up just seeing the tip of the iceberg, kind of like that meme that everybody sees on the internet, where
Right.
like they only see the wow, like you got the house now, you're so successful, but it's just like they don't notice that like they had to make a lot of mistakes and
Yeah, so they didn't really get like, no, wow, that dude, that's really insightful. Like, so like they focus on the win, and even though they had losses before the win, they didn't get anything out of that because they only focused on like the one
yeah,
win thing they had. Yeah, dude,
and they
that
don't
shit is deep.
and they don't know them, so it's like really not their fault either. They
Yeah.
don't know you, they don't know me. Like we don't sometimes we don't need to share our all of our L's, we don't need to share everything, and the shiniest thing is the win. but down in the gutter is where everything is. Like
Yeah.
you gotta get your hands dirty. You gotta find it. You know, you're looking for gold. You're looking for diamonds.
Oh,
Like
yeah. Your
you're
hands
not
are gonna
gonna
get dirty.
yeah, your hands are gonna get dirty, man. It's
Yeah.
like it's one of those things, and like I just been spending a lot of time listening to interviews of people I look up to, a lot of books, even like just like stuff to refresh my memory. I don't know, like a little bit of everything. Like just I'm still a student regardless if my name is Endz or if it's like something else.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be interesting. Like the next half of 2020 for what I'm doing is gonna be interesting just because I'm just preparing something that's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be cool, and I just hope people come along for the ride. Like just like I let go of the underground stuff and I went to like I didn't let go of it, but I decided to like try other sounds and risk people not liking me because
Uh huh.
I was never into it for people to like me. So it was more like I dabble with these things without conscious of like, oh, this person might not like me anymore, or I might not have these fans. And it's like cool, whatever. You were never meant to be in my life anyway. So I just continued to dabble and experiment, and now I have like so many things that I can do that I'm able to leave the US and I know I can grow in Latin America, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that. I'm just saying that like that I feel like I'm becoming more universal of like of things where like I don't want to be dependent off of like one thing or the other. Like I want to be able to, like you said, pivot and be able to understand, read the room, read the situation, like whatever's going on, and and put it out there. So yeah, I've been making a lot of like Spanish stuff, a lot of different types of
That's
cool
dope,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, like a lot of and like it's crazy because I've been like just like in my head, like everything that I want to accomplish, it tends to just come to me, but not when I want it. It comes by itself,
I
one
agree.
way.
I agree.
So
It's the
so it's
same.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So talk about. I mean, I obviously follow your career. Like you, I know a while back you went down to South America. You made some connections. You were out there working. You did some stuff. You visited family. Like there was a bunch of stuff going on. What? 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 Obviously, some stuff has come out of all of this, of these journeys going south. What have
yeah,
you? I mean, can you talk a little bit about it? Because I know that that's an exciting thing, man. I love the fact. I'll tell you this, dude. I love to hear when artists get to a point where you're at right now, where you're like, I literally just don't give a fuck about what isn't inside of me when I'm creating something. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you're it's all coming from you. So if you feel this way, then you're gonna do it. And cause I hate, bro, you know how many artists artists that you and I know that
they're
have,
scared to,
yeah, that have talked to me on the side and had said like, yo, I want to make an R&B record, but I don't know what people will say. And these motherfuckers can like really sing. And I'm like, yo, you're
yeah,
punishing yourself. Like, why are you punishing
yeah,
yourself? You know? But can
yeah.
you talk a little bit about what you got going?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I think it just has to do with like just having fun, you know. Like I never really used to like harmonize that crazy on my songs, and now like I'm able to like do these things here and there, and I didn't even notice it, but my friend like came up to me, he's like, hey, like I noticed that you have like different elements that you've like gathered over the years, and it sounds like just low grown shit because it's like you have this and that, and I just feel
Mm.
like it's important to
Who
like
was
pay
that, by the
attention.
way? Who was that? That was
Huh?
some insightful shit. Who told you that?
Who told me that shit? Fuck.
That was some. We need to give that dude some props or some shit.
Man, who was it? Oh, it's my boy Rage. Rage. I made music with my boy Rage like day one. This is before I started like really just like getting known in the like in the hip hop community, and
Yeah.
like I dropped a whole mixtape with him, and this is like a day one homie that we used to go to high school together, and we put a tape together like during high school. It was called Abstract Inspirations. Like no one even knows about it. It was like
Yeah.
before I even knew social media. Like But anyway, he was like, yeah, like, cause like obviously like with locally grown collective, like Dave Allen was in the picture and Dijon
Mm-hmm.
and Cole, like these people were my like a drummer was a vocalist. He also played the keyboard, like like I had this whole thing and like just like I just trust life and everybody had to go through their journeys and everybody's really happy with their lives and they're succeeding and like me I just like it made sense that he said that I gathered all these things because I do pay attention. I learn, I pay attention and I try to as much as I can because obviously like everybody's attention span, especially living in Cali, like it's crazy. You're like
Yeah.
you're thinking so many things and you want to do so many things and you
And
stress yourself
everybody's
out.
telling you to do so many things and everybody's suggesting
Yeah,
new things. Yeah, dude, I
yeah,
think this is what I think it is and I've seen your evolution to this, but definitely let it be known. I've also seen like you putting in the reps to do this. Like none of this shit was easy. Um I want to really dig into your brain right here, bro. Like really feel this. Like is it weird for you to say like is there still like a hesitation in you when you go um like you say like a statement like getting known in like the hip hop scene, like
yeah.
does it do you still feel hesitation when you say stuff like that?
Hell no. I feel like great shit is heard no matter what. And I'm not saying I'm the only great one, but I'm saying like I'm kind of confident like great
Okay,
shit
but
is
okay, that's what I needed to know. Like you do know that like you're like people know who the fuck you are. Like I've been to other cities where people will say like I know and I know it's weird. Dude, I heard very early on in my career, I got some crazy advice from a dude who's like a dope manager right now. Like he's at the top of his game. But he told
fire.
me, he said you will never really know like how popular you are, because you'll never be in all the places where you're reaching. Like you'll never be there simultaneously. You know what I mean? And until you get to like a bigger level where you can at least where the voices are overwhelming, right? Like people who have millions and millions and millions of followers, the voices are just overwhelming. So it's very easy to gauge kind of like, oh, my fans feel this, my fans. But when you're at the level you're at where you're well known, you're well respected, right? And your trajectory is doing this, right? Like you haven't stopped going up, right? And
Yeah.
so you're going to get to that place, but on the way there, it's hard to gauge sometimes. Like, yo, am I like, are people feeling me? Like, how is it really? And I just wanted you to know for sure. You better know, dude. Like, I've known you too long. Like, we've been friends
Yeah.
too long. You are
Yeah, like
definitely in a place right now where, like, yeah, man, you're popping right now.
I don't want to say that I'm popping, but I do want to say that anything that comes out of me is for sure going to be my very best and whether someone's asking for a feature or I'm working or I'm like songwriting for another artist like
Yeah,
right there at the spot I try to do my best and I know like it's a I don't know, it's a double-edged sword, but I like it because it keeps me hungry. Like Benny the Butcher from Griselda said, I'm always be the underdog but I'm still gonna get it. Like I'm like because that mentality keeps you hungry. So I like to stay hungry. So
yeah, that's
so
dope.
I
Well, I'm just telling you as a friend,
dude,
please
that's respect.
please know that it is not
Yeah.
missed.
You
It's not being missed at all.
like at first you used to travel from house to house and do these podcasts and
Yeah.
now like look at you, you're giving me on some like upcoming Joe Rogan vibes right now. So
Yo, man.
so
Yeah, people
that's
don't know.
fire.
Our first podcast together was on a front lawn of one of your homies' houses. That was our first
Yeah.
podcast together. It
Front
was
lawn,
outside.
living room,
Yep.
and I'm honored to be part of that. Be like, yeah, like part of that story, your story and
Yeah,
and and
yeah, yeah.
and everything
Me,
solid.
me and Kurt were talking about that. How, man, like I was looking back at a lot of the old episodes as I was starting to set up this new thing. Right, like a lot of this was a learning curve, but for a lot of people who follow Platform Collection, at least I think they've kind of seen how we move, or at least heard how we move through the podcast. We talk a lot about our personal lives and the personal lives of the people that are on the show. So people know, like, we're at the very least, what you're going to get from us is what we think the truth is, right? And that's just something we're always going to do. We don't get paid to put people's music on the website. We don't do paid to do these interviews. These are things we want to do. These are things we think are important. And I think because of that, the audience they were cool with waiting for us to get it how we wanted to get it, because we would talk
Yeah,
to them about that. We would be like, yo, we could do video right now. We're 300 episodes in. We got literally like volumes of people's lives, right? Like, you're one of
yeah,
those people. We could
that's
go through each podcast and you could see where you were at.
that's insane.
Yeah, but we want it. For me, I was like, I want to be able to do it how I want to be able to do it. And until the technology really caught up to that, I didn't even want to try it. And then once the technology caught up and I was like, yo, this is finally, like, this looks like I want it to do. It feels like I want it to be. You know what I mean? Like, it takes off all limits, right? Like, I
And
can I can get people from the East Coast, I can get people overseas. It's going to be way more now, you know? And I had to wait for that. But you were
that's
one of those people who bought in very early, bro. And that shit is not
yeah.
something that goes unnoticed. You know what I mean? Because
I
you got it early.
Yeah, and I think it's like one of those you attract people you connect with, and you were on your grind and I was on mine, and everything just happened, like naturally, which is
Yeah.
the dopest way of like things happening.
Yeah, man. Yo, so what's going on with your for dude, Enz, how old are you?
I'm 29, bro.
Wow, man. So yeah, I have known you for a minute. So
Yeah.
are you, just because I want to catch up, man, like, are you seeing anybody? Are you in relationships? Do you do that? I don't know where you're at with it. I mean,
I mean, bro, I like to keep my
I
my
know you
my
are. I
mind
know you are.
private.
Are you
I'm I'm
happy? Are you
oh,
happy?
dude, yeah, I'm hella happy.
Okay,
Like I'm
cool.
definitely talking to someone, and it's super chill.
Dope.
I just got back from Lake Isabella actually. Like I got home
Oh,
and I'm just like getting back in my
doing your
grind,
grown man
bro.
shit, huh?
Bro, I went over there and fucking and just like chilled out by the lake and just really recharged, and just now getting back to work, and it feels good. Like
That's dope.
everything is solid.
How's your
Just
mom? Mom's good?
dude, mom's is good. Everybody's good. Like I've been definitely trying to just work on my foundation, and it's definitely been even way better because everything else just like is like a landslide after that. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so
What about as far as you, like, working on music frequently? Is that started to happen yet? Are you able to, like,
oh gee,
get, yeah?
I never stopped making music. Like
Okay.
I have a lot of unreleased music, and lately it's been some of the best music I've ever made because I'm just letting it come out, and I'm just going with the times, and like whatever it is, like we just let it out. And I'm currently just working on an introduction to my rebrand.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary because like at first it was like I do these things unconsciously, but now I'm doing it consciously, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
but I
It's
feel
because
like
you're
a
a
name
professional.
I feel like
Uh-huh.
a name is just something that like it's important, but I feel like it's the work and the vibe and just what you transmit through your message and your art and your product that matters at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, Nike's logo is just a swoosh, but they're making you feel like one of the dopest athletes when you wear their
Yeah.
clothes.
Yeah.
So you can just be something super simple, and I don't know. I just feel like lately, I've been thinking about it, but I haven't been worrying about the name change, But I knew that eventually I wanted to. I just wanted something more in the realms of just sounding like rolling off of the tongue and attracting like bigger audiences.
Oh man.
Instead of like obviously like I don't know, like I love Endz, and like Endz is like I'm still gonna be Endz, like nobody's gonna stop calling me Endz, or Enzo or whatever. But I just feel like I don't even know if I'm about to make the announcement of the name on Crappy Awesome
Are
podcast
you?
right now.
Are you? Are you gonna do
I'm
it?
literally like it's like literally right here,
I
and I'm
think you
just like,
want to do it. You know, you should do it.
you say you should do it. You know what? Because if I do it, it's gonna happen. If I say it, it's gonna happen, bro. So,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know, but like ever since I was a little kid, my uncle calls me El Nino, and El Nino has always been a like one of those family nicknames when like you get to the house and your uncle sees you and he calls you Nino or El Nino. So I've had that on my bio for a while without even knowing that I was gonna make that my name. and
Wow.
and I feel like it's time to just really uh just tap into who like my roots, my culture, but I'm still gonna do hella English shit, and I'm gonna dabble into the shit that you've been hearing with Spanish, but it's still trap. It's still
Yeah.
like whatever. I have a lot of hip hop tracks. Everything's gonna be the same. I just feel like El Nino is gonna, I don't know, it's gonna allow me to have more fun and more creative freedom with that name. Like when you hear El Nino and you hear Endz, like I feel like you have much more to play with when you hear El Nino, because even a person that doesn't really know English, they know that Nino means kid, or El
Yeah.
Nino.
Yeah.
Like it's or the storm that just passed by, or that was like what, a
Yeah.
couple years ago, El
Yeah.
Nino. So I don't know. I have a good vibe. I have a good feeling about it. And
I like it. Dude, I like it. I think it's gonna
he
be
said I like it.
I'm excited. I'm hyped, bro. I'm hyped. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta
Motherfucker,
send you
give
some.
me the
I
exclusive.
gotta send you some sneak peeks, man,
Please do. That would be amazing.
yeah,
That
that way you guys can stay in the loop.
well, let me wait. Do you have something already? You don't.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not saying to play it right. You don't have to play it. Well, I mean, well, here's the thing.
nah,
This is what I'm
I don't think
asking.
I don't think I want to be that guy. Like, hey, check out my
Right, right,
mixtape,
right.
bro.
Don't do that. No, 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 no. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. So
Yeah,
for the people who are watching this on YouTube or IGTV, if you're watching the visual version of this of the podcast, you need to go to the audio version of this podcast. And what we're going to do is he's going to give me a snippet, and we're going to play it at the end of the audio version. That's cool, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that way
That's
you can
cool.
hear it with your headphones and it sounds dope. You know what I mean? You can play it in your car, that kind of shit. But if you're on
Yeah.
the video version, you got to go to the audio version. That's just the way it is. I told you that's the way it was going to be. That's the way it is. This
You're
is
the boss. You're the boss. This is your world, your platform. Run it, boss. Run it.
yeah, dude. That'll be dope. Yeah, man, that's exciting. I know that you have like just personal aspirations, right? To like tour South America, right? That's always been something you wanted
Dude,
to do, right?
I want to tour the world,
Yeah.
and I wanna do it in English and Spanish. Like
Yeah.
I wanna tour the world, and I just wanna connect with people, and do what an artist does is uh give people new thoughts, create new energies, just good atmospheres, like everything. Like I don't just want to do South America. Like South America obviously is a big bucket list for me, because I've never been to
Yeah.
Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and all these other places, but I'm currently making music for all of that, for US, for
Yeah.
so. But at the same time, I guess, like, I mean, we can have this constructive conversation here, since like this is
Sure.
a dope place. Like, I heard Illmind, the producer, shout out to him, that he was saying like you can have all these sounds, but you got to focus on one. So I'm trying, but I just seem to just, if I can do it, I just do it.
Yeah,
Like I,
yeah, I heard your old mind say that too. I don't know if I can, I don't know if I know I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with that because I think like you saying or anybody saying like a sound, right? Like it's perspective, right? Because I've heard people put like dude there's world artists that have so many different sounds within the scope of what of their universe, right? So like if in your universe you're able to communicate it, right? Because that's the challenge of us as artists, how to communicate it so that you see what I see in my head. That's our challenge. And if you're willing to take that challenge, then you can, there is no reason that you can't have English ends, Spanish El Nino in a universe where it all makes sense and that people can look at it and go, oh, I get it. Like, I get what he's doing because I'm like that. Or, because, dude, here's the thing. Who the fuck is one way? That makes no sense at all. That makes no sense at all. The normal person, if you're just talking about like an easy way to like monetary value, like just the money, then yeah, man, make the same cheeseburger every single day and you'll have a McDonald's and shit. That's cool. But that's not art. Like that's not art, right? And
Yeah.
one of the things about you is that you've never, like, you've always refused to like let go of your art part of you for whatever. Like, you know right now, bro, you know right now you could get a really pop beat and write some song, some bullshit, something you don't feel at all, right? And blow that song up. You know that you're at least have the ability to make, oh, you can make a really poppy song if you want right now. You could do that right now.
And that's where the ghostwriting comes in for me.
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't have to be me anymore. Like you
That, no,
you
but I'm
you
saying that's a proof. Your ghostwriting is proof that you have the ability to do whatever the fuck you want. So why would you not add those things into your universe that you're able to do? Just like the rapper who stops me after the show and goes, I want to make an R&B record, but I only make hard hip hop. Well, dude, if you're, so my challenge to you,
it's like telling your girl, yo, I love you, but I can't say it because I'm hard.
yeah,
Like,
no, it's exactly like that, right? It's a denial of your truth. And so my
yeah.
challenge to any artist who's in that situation, this is for real, for real. How dope are you then? Like, how fucking dope? I don't think you're that dope then. That's just the truth. I don't care if you have high level bars. If you have high level bars and you want to do something else, but you're not doing that because you don't know what they might think, you're whack. That's not art.
Yeah. That's why like you see artists like Kendrick Lamar, like he loves his art. Like
Mm-hmm.
his
First.
art and
Yeah.
his truth comes first before the masses of people that love him.
Yep.
That's how an artist has to be. You have to stick to your guns, stick to your truth, stick to what you believe in. You might get hated on, you might get stepped on, like they might chew you up, but at the same time, like you're writing with you're betting on yourself.
Yep.
And people sometimes don't like that,
Because
and
it's scary as fuck for a lot of people, right? Like,
it is
this goes back to what you said earlier, is a lot of people don't
scarcity.
learn from their losses. They don't take the value out of that. So
Yeah,
when change happens, that's scary as fuck for most people. Because
it's
most people,
scary,
they're
bro.
not ready. They're not ready. They're not battle hardened. They haven't done any of the work. And so when you get slapped across the face with a dose of reality, that shit can be very scary. And it's like you said earlier, I don't blame people for that. That's not something like I'm saying, oh, people are less than. I'm saying the lessons can be more, right? Like in your life, like your lessons can be way more. They can be life changing, or they can just be another bump on the head,
They
right?
happen.
It's
They
up to
happen
you.
all. Yeah, I think it's just I don't know, like that book that I read by the RZA, the I think it's the man, it's that book, The Tale of the Wu.
Yeah.
And I read that book twice, and he talks about like there's 12 steps that you need to get to, and you can't get to the last three or four without getting the first six. And like
Yeah.
like knowledge and understanding and just like discipline and all these things will get you to that next level. But if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, if you're not willing to understand, you're not even going to be able to read the signs when there's a lesson right in your face. Like and that
Real.
and that happens and that happens all the time, where people like victimize themselves, or they just accept that that's their behavior and that's the way that life's gonna be, and like they just completely like they're just like whatever, like let the wind blow and I'll fucking go there, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Because
and
I think it's easier
it's
sometimes
cool.
for people, like people,
It is.
dude, paint. Here's the thing you do as an artist for sure, right? If you're serious about it, is you don't shy away from the pain. You
Mm.
can't, or you're gonna be whack. You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to wrestle with those bigger ideas so that your art can transcend just you, right? Like if you want to connect to other people, you're going to need to talk about things that run through us all, like fear, right? And that's a huge thing. And I think for most people, it's almost easier to go like, yeah, do I really want to put up do I really want to put up the battle of like, who
The
am I?
wall.
Yeah, what am I? What is this really about? Do I really want to do that? Because I'm having so much fun already, right? Like I'm going out and I'm drinking. I have a girlfriend. I have a job. Do I really
The thing
want
is,
to do
the
that?
thing is, like, do you realize? I mean, I know you do.
Uh,
That a lot of people that are legendary or they're never gonna die, that their art's never gonna die, is because they are tapping into the truest, their purest form of truth,
yes.
and it relates to the entire world because he is being human. He's not putting himself like, I'm an artist, I'm special, I am this, that. He's
Yep.
simply being vulnerable. And I even hear like Noah James, shout out to Noah. He speaks about vulnerability, and a lot of other greats speak about vulnerability, and it's one of the things that's gonna make you real. Like, you what scares you and what's bothering you is what you should share. Like
Ooh.
what that's exactly what you got to share, because it's like Noah says, it's vitamins, and it's crazy because Noah and I don't really talk day to day or talk frequently, but
Yeah.
his energy is still transmitting right now as I'm telling you something. So like
Ooh.
everything that everything that we're doing, it affects somebody, like whether if it's like somebody that never talks to you but watches your stories every day. Their eyes are tuning in no
Yeah.
matter what. Like, and like, I see people get hella mad when they're like, oh, you guys watch my stories and like no one likes me, or no one likes my shit, no one comments. It's like once that lack of knowledge of knowing that that digital marketing, and you understand the hot zone to the cold zone, you won't understand why people only look at your stories and take no further action. So like, it's like what do you call that word? Uh, Take responsibility for your lacks,
Yeah.
and just like, I don't know, but I just know that like you got to keep it G, man. you know. I don't know. You just gotta keep it G, bro.
You just dropped some fucking gems. By the way, I was cutting that up in my head. I was like, oh, here's the Instagram post. Here's the Instagram post, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
Bro,
I was thinking about that too. Like, while I'm sharing stuff, I'm like, this guy's probably thinking of like the headlines of
yep,
like
yeah.
of like
I'm naming the
how
show. I'm writing the copy for it. I'm doing all that as I'm hearing you talk, bro. Like,
and
do you think that Oh, okay. No, this is definitely what I wanted to, because I told the audience I was going to talk to you about this. Like, what is your prediction? Just take a shot in the dark. You got $1 million. You got to make a bet. You have to make the bet. Where are you putting that $1 million on to, like, when are we going to get something back to normal? Like, as far as like touring and hitting the road, how, like, what point of the year or next year, or like how far out do you think it is?
I feel like they're gonna try to do it soon. And then
Yeah,
if cases spike, they're gonna it's gonna come back. Like,
yeah,
yo, everybody gotta chill the fuck out again.
yeah. You think they're definitely going to go in though?
I mean, bars are starting to open,
Yeah,
places are starting to open. I've already seen a couple flyers of people saying they're having live shows.
I did. I have two. I have two. Yeah, I'm thinking.
And
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it for sure.
I mean, I don't know, like, call me crazy, but I'm aware of the situation. But at the same time, I'm cautious, but I move like cool. I wear my mask when I need to, and but I'm not like worried about it. Like if I'm gonna die, like if
Yeah.
I guess I'm just worried about living while I'm alive, and I'll worry about that when it hits me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it's just important for your mental health. Like you can become a conspiracy theorist, and you can be locked in your room with hella notes on your wall of how like you're gonna expose the government of this lie, but at the same time, like your mental health and everything is important, and you can't pour from an empty cup. So you gotta you gotta make sure you're good if you're over here trying to help others,
That's so
and
true, man. And especially right now, I feel like I was telling people the other day is like, we need everybody right now in our community. You know what I mean? We need
yeah,
everybody. So everybody does like mental health needs to be an utmost priority for our people. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
for all the people in a struggle. You know?
Mental health, and especially for everybody, but right now for sure, like Black Lives Matter. Like I stand in solidarity with my brothers and sisters, and when I'm there, like I'm there as one of you, and if they get you, they're gonna get me. That's my mentality. Like we're in this together, like with that shit. Like that's how I feel about it.
Amen,
Like, and
brother.
if I don't think I could be there and just stand there and record, or be there and
Yeah.
just like, I don't know, every time I see these clips and these things, like I get mad anxiety, like I want to do something, and like I'm just like, yo, like I haven't been, like it hasn't been in my face to where like someone's getting losing their life, but like I don't think I could just stand there. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, but I know that I always like stand for what I believe in, and I'm not ignorant about it either. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be scared and turn the cheek about it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think it's super important for artists like yourself to keep creating, to keep speaking to the people. Like one of the things that I look at artists as is like, you're your own like astronaut, right? Like cuz you're basically
Mm,
going off into places that not
thank you.
everybody can go, right? Like that's part of what you do as an artist. So it's important that we get that information back to the people, right? So like if you have ways of finding inspiration or ways of like touching people's hearts, like that's important information, and not everyone can access it like you have because you've practiced it. You know what I mean? You've turned it into a skill for yourself. Not everybody has that. Some people have to wait on it.
No,
So
yeah,
it is important
I
for
I
people like you to get that information and bring it back. You know what I mean?
I think it's super important, and I'm like weighing out the option also of spreading that information carefully, because not everybody wants to be saved, and
Right, for
also
sure.
keeping it real to yourself that you're not shoving anything down anybody's throat, and just like be cautious of like who you're gonna share your energy with, and I think I've become one of those artists to where like I do what I want because I wanted to do it, and it's gonna come out on like my time, not anybody's time, and I don't know, like you just gotta value and believe in yourself that much, and people will connect to that vibe. Like this person's not desperate for anything. Like I do this because I pay attention to the details, because this is like great, something that I really love, and I don't know, like I think it's important for people like Jay-Z. I was also studying on Jay-Z because he's one of my mentors, and he don't even know it. but but Jay-Z also, he says people, if I would have given people real food knowledge in the very beginning of my career, they wouldn't have paid attention to me. He's like, so so I had to give them sugar, and I had to spoon feed them sugar,
Mm,
uh, uh, before they were gonna eat everything off the plate, and like give them sugar, and then like a little bit of knowledge in that, and it's just one of those things that it's like mental, where people don't want to cook a meal. It's convenient to just go to the drive-through, or people don't want to work on themselves. It's convenient to just always hit the club and always pop bottles and wear and flash things in approval of others, and like the easy way out is always available, and it's always going to be available, you know. And I just feel like people don't always choose the side they need to go to, and that relates to people loving commercial music and people loving the stuff that's like candy, because it's sugar. Everybody loves sugar and they want more of it when they have some.
Yeah,
So I think it's a logic that, like, or a decision. You know, like you have artists like Coda the Friend that I really love. Also, shout out Coda. Like Coda the Friend, he is like he has rebel vibes. Like I'm never going to a major label. I'm not your motherfucking slave. I'm putting my kids through college, and like I'm not giving you a percentage that is gonna go to my kid. You know,
yeah, yeah,
or and he has like such a loyal fan base, but that's his people, that's his stuff, you know. And I'm not saying I'm against his beliefs. Like I support 100% like everything that he's doing. As for me, where I'm at, I feel like whatever option feels right to move towards the next step, I'm gonna look into it, you know. And if it makes sense, obviously I'm not trying to get like suckered in like to a whack deal or anything,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But at the same time, like you have to play chess. There's dues to pay. There's different things, you know, and it's deeper. It's deeper for everybody. Everybody has their own way of seeing things, you know. But like I just want to create. I want to be in the spaces where greatness is happening. I want to be part of the greatness. I want to contribute. I want to contribute to change. I want to be part of like all that is like good for me, good for others. Just that intention alone uh, has is helping me create the best music I've ever made. It's contributing to making some of the dopest products I've ever made, and I just been translating everything that I feel towards all of that. Whether like, hey, I could write a song for you, or hey, I can, I have an idea for products for low grown, and yeah, just continue on with my music. You know, there's been bumps on the road, but they've been like good bumps that has like redirected us to where we're going. And yeah, like it's exciting, man. Like you just got to keep your intention pure. You got to keep your, like you said, like it's you wanted to do this, but the internet wasn't allowing you to, and you weren't like super desperate to like do half-ass shit
yeah,
to like get noticed. Like for short term, you were thinking long term. You were thinking the marathon, and like even like Nipsey Hussle, like rest in peace. Like all that is just energy, and it affects people. You know, like we're here right now. We're talking. We're alive. Like we're able to create. We're able to push the agenda forward. But for the people that didn't, it's like it's cool that we have to continue that energy that they had, you know, because we're still here. It's almost like a responsibility, like you said.
yeah. I definitely feel that, man, and that's much what you said is much needed for sure. I know I definitely needed to hear that. It's it can be a confusing time if you don't focus on the things that matter, right? And I know like
Mhm.
I went at the beginning of especially the stuff with George Floyd. I went way in on just taking in the information constantly, 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 and I had to check myself because I was like, "Yo, what are you doing right now? Like, you're literally not doing anything. You're just sitting here watching this information come in,
It's
and
just stirring in your head.
exactly, and doing nothing good. Nothing good's coming out of it, right? And so I literally had to just stop myself and go, all right, that's not what I need to know. Like if my homies, like I've been at the protest. I've been there. Like if the homies need something, it's easy for me to get in touch with the homies. Like I don't need to be on Facebook and on Instagram all day just looking at protest shit. You know what I mean? Or on TV just watching protest shit. What I
That
need to
shit
do I need to do is start I need to think about like what I could be doing. And like one of those things is like you said is like putting out
this
the art. Yeah, this.
this
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I needed to hear this too. Like this conversation is not for us to like, hey, look at us. It's like we're
Yeah.
just living, and I feel like people just gotta live and do things because they want to do them, not for other things. And that's how people that's how people get what they want, because they're just living and they're doing it out of just love, like out of just like, I like doing this, I enjoy it. If you like it, dope. If you don't, I'm gonna still kill it.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, right now it's definitely a crucial time in history, that even like I had to talk to my mom, and so did my boy Kevin had to talk to his parents, because they were just like, oh, why are you going out to the protests?
Yeah.
You guys are in danger out there, people are looting. And I'm just like, yo, if I was the one that died, wouldn't you want wouldn't you want people out there fighting for justice? Like, just because it's not us, that doesn't mean that you can't tell me to like not be contributing to what's going on. And like, I know it's scary and you're coming from a place of love, like, yo, you want your kids to be safe, but right now nobody's safe. And like, either way, like, as much as safe as you want to call it, like, nobody's safe. And
Mm.
just being like again, like, just being like real, even if it's your parents. Like, you got to be like, look, like, you come from a different generation, you come from a different world. Right now, if you don't understand what's going on, like, it's like if they had killed me, and there's nothing happening about it. The cop's gonna go home on sick pay, and you just lost a son,
Yeah.
and no one's doing anything about it. So like, once they start like getting that information, like, it's just like, you got like, they kind of backed off. And like, we were out there. I've been out there numerous times, and I'm gonna continue going as much as I can. And peacefully. I don't think, obviously, like, they have a lot more toys to play with. Like, they
For
can shoot,
sure.
they
For
can
sure.
throw. So I just feel like just being out there, making, like, letting the voice be heard, the message be heard, is going to be like the most important thing that we can do. And it doesn't have to be violent all the time. I feel like it's not the only way, because obviously they are who they are, and plain and simple, they got more toys to play with. And like, like, there is going to be bloodshed, man. Like, and there's a lot of crazy shit happening now
Yeah.
still. And like
I
you
think
said, like,
I think one of the things you said really important, man, because I didn't want to go too far past this, was that, dude, we're eye to eye on the idea of talking to like your parents. I said this on a previous podcast that we need to really like dedicate some time to our elders, who, for them, this is just a very confusing time. You're talking about a population of people who bought into the dream for the most part because that's the only information they had, right? They bought into a lot of false things, and so it's scary if they wake up the next day and they're like, "Oh shit, it's not like that. Oh, they have been lying to us." They don't want to think about those kind of things, and I think it is really dope that you did that, because I said that on a podcast. Like, I think we need to not forget this older generation. I know they can't be there on the front line, but someone has to sit with them and go like, "Hey, when we say like defund the police, that doesn't mean no more police. That means we need to rethink of something new. We need to come up that, because the first thing they go to, especially the older generation, is panic. You know what I mean? And that's what they do. They think like, oh my gosh, can't we just go back to what we were doing? And the reality is, we're going through a time, bro, where we're
it's just
no, we're not
it's
ever
traumatic.
going. Yeah, we're not going back to a time that they're
20
going that they remember. You know?
2020 is hygienically traumatic and racially traumatic.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure, bro. For
uh
sure.
like, there's different wars, even like women wars. Like, we hear it all the time, like fighting wars with like, not like dressing a certain way, and men can't handle it, that they get disrespectful and weird.
Yeah.
uh, there's so many things happening that 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 definitely are coming to light right now, and I think that's gonna be the most important thing. Like uh Jay Z said a line on that new album with Jay Electronica. A civilization won't get uh won't succeed until it's destroyed from within, or or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you have to destroy it from within, like kind of like cut the tree from the root, not just one of the branches. Uh,
Yeah, I think
and
what people are scared of, dude, and this is something like I know that, and maybe this is part of us doing making art and putting out art and speaking our voices, is that a conversation does need to happen, dude, about the idea of us just as a country. We have to get okay with the idea of something going away and a new thing happening. Because
look,
look at we
do
can
you
look at
think
things
do you
like
think do you think we can run without police?
I think this is what I think. I think at one time in this country, right, people would make ridicule people and make fun of people and even like harass them violently because they believed in a thing called germs, right? They believed there was these things in the air and people called them crazy and all this shit, right? Just like when people were saying like um we could never have computers that think on their own, and we're this close to it now, right? So
Yeah,
for us to, I think as a humanity, part of us going to this next level of humanity is first getting okay with changing the old rules. The old rules have to stop. Is it okay to get new information and think something new? Yes. Should you be ridiculed for that? No. That's what growing is. Like I used to think this, I learned some new shit, now I think this. Why is that such a negative thing, especially in the United States? Because there's one reason, because
generational, right?
there is a group, and there's many groups. It's not one person, one color, one thing. There's a lot of people that benefit from us never figuring that out. And that's just the truth. If
You're
you're a
you're
politician, if you're a policeman, if you're any of these types of people, you don't want those jobs to go away. But as people, we have to go, why are we still paying into this whack investment? Like, it doesn't work. It's not working. It's not
like
working. We have homelessness. It's not working.
yeah. I think a restriction of the rules is definitely going to be needed. I think it's important that a restructure with higher power monitor police and really give them no choice, and just really have a different a restructure of the requirements to be a police officer, and to know when a cop is being a biased before they even step on the field, you know.
Right. And that's what for a lot of people who might be confused on it, that's defunding the police. When they talk about that, that doesn't mean taking all the money away from the police. This is what it means. It means police probably, right? We could all probably agree they probably shouldn't be dealing with like mental health issues, right? That's not their job. That's not what they're. I can tell you this: they're not trained to deal with that. That's just not what not in their training. They can't afford to be trained. You can't make a cop hire a cop and then send them off to get a doctorate. That's too expensive. They know what they know when they get hired, and then they get a little bit of training. If you're dealing with mental health every day, which they are, they're the first responders. If somebody's going crazy in a house, if somebody's having an anxiety breakdown, if somebody's needs hospitalization, who gets there first? The cops, because when the cops ask for funding, they put and rightfully so, they list all the things we expect them to do. And then they put a price on that. Defunding the
Mm.
police is getting all those little things, child welfare, all these different things that they shouldn't even be dealing with, right? There's nonviolent drug crimes. What the fuck is what? They don't need to be dealing with that. They should be stopping a crime. Half the time they can't do any of those things because they're dealing with all these things that we need to build a new thing for. There needs to be, and I don't know what that looks like, but I know it looks like
I like
nothing that
that.
we have, right? So we need, if there's a mental health thing, there should be a new 911. There should be a new thing to call the appropriate people to deal with those situations. We can't send dudes with guns at every problem. That's the problem, right? But
Yeah,
again, why has that not changed? It's not like you and I are sitting here and we're fucking geniuses and we figured it all out. No, it's super
I like
obvious.
that.
It's super
I
obvious
like
why it hasn't changed, dude. Because it's a money thing. And that's it. It's super simple. Yeah,
business, capitalism.
your city, Orange County, right? The
Yeah,
majority of their budget is given to the police. The majority of it. That doesn't make any sense, dude. There's mental health, there's homelessness, there's all. Why are cops policing a homeless people? There needs to be something that doesn't sound like a good solution to homelessness.
yeah.
That's some
Like
lazy shit, bro. That's lazy shit.
it's like a lazy restructure of like let's keep most of the profits and we just give you a little
Yeah.
bit just to maintain.
Whatever falls through the cracks, that it is what it is. We write it off. There's an expectation of crime, death, homelessness, mental illness in every city. And the people that come up with that expectation are people who are getting money to deal with that. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Why would you
yeah,
not boost your numbers if you don't give a fuck? And I'm not saying cops don't all, I don't believe that. That's ridiculous to say all cops are bad. But if you are in a system that is already corrupt, it's hard to not allow it to corrupt you in some way. And sometimes that corruption is so small and all it is you looking the other way when somebody's doing some shit they shouldn't be doing. That's enough corruption for it to ruin police, right? So we have to fix that, and there's no way that the current structure it is right now, and I know people aren't going to be happy with it. They will never be happy with it going back to it even looking like, dude, if
bro.
I was if I was a cop marketing dude, ends, I'd be right now like, yo, we're getting rid of the uniforms. We're getting rid of the no more lights. The way the lights looked, we're getting rid of that shit. Stop. Why are we wearing our guns out? Why do we, every time we walk into a situation, here comes a gun, everybody gets nervous. Why are we doing that? Doesn't even make any sense. We're probably not stopping things either. We're having people hide shit from us because they're scared of us.
Yeah, I think you're right, and you know, one person I feel kills it for everybody to where like they feel threatened, where like somebody they might have a gun too, or and then I feel like that's their logic of like I'm just gonna
Yeah.
have my gun available right here next to my hand, like
Yep. Because
I
you might have a gun. And so the
yeah
so the thinking already going into it isn't let me solve this problem. It's like let me make sure I don't get killed. Let me make sure other people don't get killed, and then let me solve the problem.
yeah
That's ineffective. If you ran a business where your people came and told you, "Yo, Enz, I was gonna put the new merch out, but I wanted to start. I wanted to make sure we were safe first, and I didn't want." You'd be like, "Dude, get out of here! Like, I need the best answer. The best
yeah.
answer is probably you not having to deal with all. The cops probably shouldn't be dealing with that at all. You know what I
You're
mean?
right,
We don't
and
need
it's the
violence
first
like
time
that.
that I hear something like that. There, I feel like cops definitely need to handle just certain.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, did we lose Enz? Enz froze up, guys. If you if you're on the video version, that's what just happened. If you're on the audio version, that's what I'll tell you what he was about to say. He was about to say, "Yo, I agree." That's what
Care
I
of
think he was about to.
the energy of change and like
He's back. Are you back? I lost you for a second, brother. I'm not sure Enz is back yet. That's okay though, because we live. Oh yeah, he dropped out. He'll be back though. Yeah, man, I think that it's super important. It's super important for us to take the time to don't get frustrated with people who don't seem to understand what you're talking about, right? That's definitely not the answer. You're only adding to the hysteria. You're adding to all the things that are tripping us up, or slowing us down. Right. What we talked about is getting to the solution in the quickest manner, and we need I mean, you guys know what it is. We need to stop the bullshit. That's what it is. I don't think you have to be from a certain background or a certain ethnicity to know that we got to stop the bullshit. So, yeah, man. It's I think we're in a place where things need to get how would I what's the best way to say it? I think things need to get painfully real. I think that's the best way I can put it. Things need to start getting painfully real, because the change that we're going to need, it doesn't look like anything we've ever seen before. So I know that there's people hoping that, what's happening on the streets is going to be the last thing that we deal with, but I assure you that it's not. I assure you that we got a lot of work to do still. Let's see. I think I got Endz back. Hold on, Endz, if you can hear me.
Um,
He's back.
bro,
There he
I'm
is.
sorry. I don't know what's going on, G.
It's
Sorry
all
about
good,
that.
bro. Here's one thing I have learned about this time in our history right now is nobody's tripping. Nobody's tripping over shit like that anymore. I watch like my favorite MMA show. Shout out to Ariel Hawani, the MMA hour. His shit drops out all the fucking time, dude. Like, he's talking to people in cars and shit. People want the information like we're used to. But you know what? This is how dope. This is how dope we are at Crappy Awesome, bro. This is how dope we are when we start talking. We're gonna wrap.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap what just happened back to what we were talking about. The fact that shit drops out now, people never would have dealt with that in the past when we just mostly had TV. If you were just watching TV and the shit, oh shit, man, the phone dropped or something, people would be like, what is this? This doesn't look like TV. Now, people don't care at all. They don't. You can go live on your Instagram from your car and have 1,000 followers watching you and be on for an hour, and it cracks in and out. People don't care. We understand that's part of our everyday life. But that was something we never thought we would accept. If you told us that 10 years ago, you'd be like, nah, man, that's whack. I don't want to fucking do that. Like, it's got to look a certain way and blah, blah. No, it doesn't. And we all think different. So for us to say that we can't look at police different and see them in a whole brand new light, that's ridiculous. Of course we can.
Yeah.
It'll take 6 months. 6 months of good marketing, and we're all, oh, these are the new police? Oh, and the new police are friendly, and the new police live in your neighborhood, and dope. Hell yeah, let's do that. Like, trust me, it won't take much, but it will take people like us and people like the listeners to make sure that they are taking the time to not just mow over people who don't understand the concepts. Like, you have to take some time to break it down for them. And like, you broke it down for your mom. That was super dope. And I think
You
that
have to.
I hope more people do that, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And like everything that I'm saying, like everything that I do is gonna be the same for everything. I've been really following that mantra where like the way you do one thing, you do everything. So the like the way you talk to people,
Yep.
like everything is like gonna be
It needs
like
to
it's
all
gonna,
be in balance.
yeah, it has to all be in balance.
Yes, brother. Man, dude, thank you so much for doing this, dog. Like, you have
Yeah,
definitely been
likewise.
one of those guests that we love having on. You were
Yup.
you were on the list immediately as soon as we started doing video. I was like, I need to get Endz on here immediately. I think you're like our third guest into all of this. Oh shoot, the homies are here.
I
Um,
know. I'm like literally like got my hands full right now and shit.
no doubt, man. But yeah, bro. Thank you so much. Tell people how to get in touch with you before I let you go. What should they be looking for? What can they be expecting for the rest of the year?
Shit, man. Well, currently you're gonna find me under Endz LGC. We just switched our website to Low Grown officially. It's no longer lgcltv.com. We're gonna just focus on low grown and like I mean everything's still running in motion, everything's still the same, but we just wanted the website to be called low grown. We just felt like it was easier for
Dope.
people to find us. So lowgrown.com, Endz LGC on all platforms. That's ENDZ LGC. And pretty soon some other shit's gonna come and you won't and Endz is gonna leave the building and people are gonna be like, what? But it's cool.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. We'll catch up. Make sure you come back as soon as you start dropping the new music so we can catch up and let people know. Don't forget to send me that exclusive. If you're on the
I
audio,
got you.
if you're on the audio version, you're about to hear that exclusive in a minute. So, Ants,
Got you.
thank you so much,
Thank you,
bro.
bro.
We'll talk to you
Have a
soon.
good day, man.
You too.
Love you, bro. Peace out.
Love you too. That was Ends, man. He is that dude. We love him. He's yeah, man. He's been a friend of the show for a long time. Always so insightful, dude. Always a dude who speaks from the heart. It's why I wanted to have him on the show. I think it's really dope, man. I think it's really dope that you get the inspiration when you need it, right? I needed to hear some inspirational words. Be truthful. I woke up this morning in a mood, and now I'm happy. Man, I hope that, dude. I hope that happened to you too. That would be really dope. If you weren't in a good mood, and then you listen to this show, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're happy again. But yeah, man, follow Endz, everything he does, at Endz LGC. Again, if you're listening to this on iTunes, TuneIn, Apple Music, Amazon, if you're watching it on IGTV or YouTube, thank you so much. If you want to do us a huge favor and keep supporting us, man, it's like giving me $20 if you hit a like and a share. That's the way I equate it. If you're like, yo, that was dope, man. Oh, what? You do this for free? Oh, man, here, take some money. Just like it and share it. That's dope. You're down for the cause. Once again, man, I love you guys. I hope that you're staying safe out there, staying healthy. Please don't let this place tear you down. Tear down the place. And we'll see you next time, man. Platformcollection.com. And once again, if you guys are just watching this, thank you. I'm looking at you right now. Thank you. But if you want to hear the Endz exclusive, you got to go listen to the audio. And while you're there, like I said, give us a like. Platformcollection.com. Support the artists we support. We'd be nothing without them. We'll see you guys next time.